YouTube. This is my first video on this channel. It's probably going to be my only channel, by the way. Today, I'm just going to be introducing you to this channel and also to one of the things that I recently done, which is I wrote a book and I published it, which I want to introduce to you. But the main thing of this channel is I'm going to be analyzing literature, basically doing reviews and going over some notes that I take while I'm reading things and things of that nature, and also just doing stuff like that. So, that's what you can probably expect from this channel. It's nothing really new. As far as my book is concerned, I'm not trying to necessarily force upon you to go on Amazon.com, type in the name of this book, and then buy it. Of course, that'd be wonderful, but I don't necessarily want you to just buy the book because I'm telling you to buy the book, but I just want to tell you that I'm not writing to get money or writing to become ultra mega famous or be high and mighty among people around me. I just really want people to read my stories, and I think that's one of the things that all writers want people to do when they see their books and just read their stories. There are some writers out there who just write for money, just write because they want to be able to say, ha ha, I wrote a book and you didn't. But that's not the reason I want to write. The reason I want to write is basically just for that one reason, that I want people to read my stories and I want people to see. I don't want to be the only one who knows that these stories exist and these characters exist and these things have happened when they've never really happened. I really just want to get my stories out there. And so my first book, The Maze Games, is my first published book, but I've written six other books that I plan to one day rewrite and publish so that people can read them. Because when I first wrote those, I was in the very early stages of writing, and I was writing maybe about a maximum of 40 pages a book. There were 3 books that I wrote that were just in really big types, so they looked like they were like 100 pages, but it was more around at least somewhere around 90. But I do plan to revisit those stories and whatnot so that people can read them. But anyways, The Maze Games is my first book, and it came out on the 30th of March of this year. And basically it follows the storyline that a boy wakes up. Now, before I begin, the title is The Maze Games. It has a disclaimer that I have never read The Maze Runner, and I don't plan to for the reasons of this book, because if I do, more than most likely the next one or the one after that will end up being much like The Maze Runner, and so I'm trying to avoid that. So, no, I have not read The Maze Runner. I had it in my library, but then I sold it to Half Price Books. So, no, I have not read The Maze Runner. Yes, I've heard of Maze Runner, because every time someone brings up anything about my book, they say, oh, it's like The Maze Runner. Also, I have read The Hunger Games, but The Hunger Games it loosely, very, very loosely, like I'm talking about like the first chapter loosely, influenced my book and the writing of my book. So, yeah. So the storyline follows the plot that Daniel McGaw wakes up in a maze, and he immediately is thrown into this dark and deadly world where death is very real, and he is instantly partnered, and I use partnered loosely, much like how The Hunger Games is loosely based on this. How The Hunger Games influenced this. He's partnered with a girl named Cynthia and a boy named Byron. They are ultimately faced with many challenges, and he becomes the leader that he never thought he would be, even though he barely remembers anything about his past or the things that have happened before the maze. And as he goes along, he becomes the leader of many different groups and many different people. He faces enemies that he never knew existed, and he faces people who he never knew could be so cruel. And as they go through the maze, they learn that their escape is not the only objective. They must defeat a darker power that has come back to life. So that's basically what the book is about. In another video, probably the next video that I do, I'll be reading the first chapter of it just to give you a little a little taste of what the book is like. Mind you, if you do happen to buy this book, or if you decide that you want to read it, and you know, if they, because I'm not sure if they're going, I don't know if they have a Kindle edition of it yet, but I'm sure that if people send enough requests for there to be a Kindle edition, there will be. Um, so yeah, that'll be in the next video. But mind you, this book is self-published. I edited this twice, but there are a few typos, there are a few grammatical errors, but I want people to please look past that. If you do happen to read it, please look past the grammatical errors and the typos and things like that, because I don't understand why that matters so much. I mean, I could read a book and get over the little things like that, because it's not the it's not the text, it's not the errors in the book that matter. It's the story that matters. If I can get the story across to you, then that's what matters. Also, on I am I am 13, but I wrote this book when I was 12. I'm currently working on two other books. One is titled Hero, and one is the other one is the sequel to this one, which is titled The Dungeon of Chaos. This will be a 5 book series, and the Hero series will be a 6 book series. I'm not going to disclose any more information about the Hero series until I'm done writing it and I've published it. So please watch this channel, and hopefully you'll come back for the next video for the excerpt of this book, which will be the first chapter, and you'll also come back for the reviews that I will give. And so, if you viewed this video, thank you, and I hope to see all of you soon. And please subscribe. I guess that's all I can say.